Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, we're in their movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who knows about that guy that got punched in the face and lost a tooth?
Okay, I am Joe Butler, and look at me. I now have a more tragic backstory than I used to have.
And Morphin Grid cheerleader, Red Fox.
Oh, and just so everybody's clear, that guy got his tooth put back together, so it's okay. Somebody wanted to go along with my joke.
I don't know what you're talking about. So,
in the movie, when Jason meets Kimberly, he makes a comment like, "Oh, I know you. You used to date Ty Hill or Ty something. Yeah, you punched out his tooth." They put it, and then three different times in the movie, people say, "Oh, they put it back."
Yeah, it was her ex-boyfriend, I guess.
Yeah,
probably.
It was. So we are here to talk about Power Rangers 2017, directed by Dean Israelite. Hope I'm saying that correct. And produced by Haim Saban. Woo-hoo. And yeah, came out in 2017. And distributed by Lionsgate. And this was supposed to be the next big thing that was going to go somewhere.
Yeah, they had big plans for this.
Oh, they did.
So I have a weird question for both of y'all. Y'all are like the same age, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Pretty damn close.
So was high school the same for y'all as what was portrayed in this movie? Because it was for me. My high school was like that, except
So which parts in particular are you kind of
just in general? I like this movie a lot. Rewatching this movie made me realize that I like a lot of this movie a lot more than I should. And one of the things that I kind of low key liked is how they ended up giving them actual decent they gave them I do think it's weird they gave them a troubled youth kind of thing, but I also like that they all at least have different reasons as to why they're there, and they're all actually pretty well interesting enough. Yeah,
I feel like none of the characters were kind of fell to the wayside. They all kind of had their own thing going, and they felt like teenagers. Teenage problems, teenage tendencies, way more so than the teenagers we got in the show.
Yeah,
but as far as it being what we grew up with, I suppose it was pretty similar in a sense. Yeah.
I don't remember high school that well. Well, to be fair, the last year I was barely there. I stopped going my senior year at a certain point. So
mine. I went to a different high school than Mike, so mine was kind of more like a Criminal Minds movie. High school it was a little more dangerous. I've seen people, get their heads busted open with lead pipes and fun stuff like that. Yeah, but it was a little different, but similar in some cases. Yes.
I don't remember a lot. I also realized, I found out years later that everybody thought I was gay at one point in my high school, too. They thought me and my friend Brad were gay. We always hung out together. We'd meet up after lunch, meet up after class, and we just talked a lot. We were just really good friends. And it wasn't until later on, some girl's like, "Aren't you gay?" I'm like, "No, but no." I'm like, "No, okay." It was just one of those funny things in high school. I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
It's okay, Mike. And when I was in high school, everyone also thought I was gay, and look how that turned out. Gayer than the rainbow, I would say.
It was just funny because I didn't find out until I think we were out of school. But yeah, I don't remember much about high school, but yeah.
Either way, the movie portrays the teenagers really well. I like a lot of it. They didn't have to go as hard on the opening as they needed to for this movie, but my God, is the opening of this movie just absolutely fucking batshit crazy.
They get right into the shit, dude. They do not fuck around.
The Zordon stuff, in the past, where Rita's a ranger and she's the Green Ranger, which actually makes more sense because she has the green coin in the regular show.
And I haven't seen this movie in forever, but whenever they're and then she's like, "I need the Zeo crystal," and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's in this too."
The Zeo crystal, is that the thing that they then use for Zeo, which I've never watched except for that terrible movie?
So the Zeo crystals are portrayed a bit differently in the show. It's solely to give the Rangers, to make them stronger and give them a new connection to the Morphin Grid. Whereas in this, it's every planet that has life has a Zeo crystal on it, so it creates life, and when it's destroyed or taken, it will destroy life at that point.
Okay.
I thought the Zeo crystals were unlimited power too, or something like that.
In the show, or
yes.
I'd say that's more of the show. I'm sure somebody could correct me on that, but I would say that's more of the show, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I just thought, I didn't catch the Zeo crystal part when she's talking about that, but that makes sense. I just caught that. I like it that Zordon's a ranger. I like that idea.
When I first saw that in the theaters, I was like, I'm down for that. Was not opposed to it.
No, I mean, it's a good opening. And I didn't catch... I actually watched this movie. I watched it all through one time, started watching it again because some of the early stuff I just wanted to refresh it. But I had to buy this on Prime. It wouldn't let me. There was nowhere to stream it for free, so I bought it.
Oh, you should probably like coordinate how to watch movies. I literally like type in Power Rangers full movie on YouTube, and I have not dubbed Sabin's Power Ranger 2017 full movie in 8K HD Ultra Surround Dolby Sound, and it was posted.
Hell yeah!
6 days ago.
Yeah, we should. Oh well, I mean, hey, you know what? I'm completely okay spending the $13 to own this movie.
Okay, that's not so bad.
So because I mean, I really like this film. Spoiler alert. I mean, it's just. But you're right. You have that opening, and the first opening you have with Jason is them milking a male cow, which is not how you think a good movie's going to start off with a freaking masturbation joke about a cow. But you know what? It's dumb, but the movie's good. So fucking stupid. But I could see some guy being that dumb.
Oh, hell yeah. I can see guys I know now that are in their 30s being that dumb, to be honest. I actually liked how they made Jason, obviously the jock, star quarterback, cool, great, and it makes sense. Him eventually being kind of a leader type, but him just doing dumb teenage shit. I mean, I was like, great, this is how teenagers are supposed to act.
That's how teenagers do act.
That's how teenagers act, yeah, as well.
I mean, I know I've done some dumb shit when I was a teenager, so.
We all have, I'm sure.
I mean, I didn't steal any cows. It wasn't
or milk a male one by chance.
No, never did that either. But I had a cow. That's about it.
Cows are cool.
But I know I dumb. I mean, I guess I was a pretty good teenager. I mean, I did break into a abandoned building and get caught by the cops, and they yelled at us and told us to leave. That's about it, though. That old golf course, Rich.
I figured that's what you were talking about, yeah.
That's the only thing I did that was ever like. Oh, there's also one time I was on top of a ski mountain and we were throwing rocks for some. Well, I wasn't, but the other guy was one of the other guys that was throwing rocks. And the cops called on us, and we just played dumb. And they're like, just get out of here.
Yeah,
like, okay, bye.
It's just more of like, hey, let's calm things down. Leave, please.
Well, and they wouldn't even notice we were out there if someone wasn't throwing rocks.
Who was it? You remember who it was?
Oh, I know exactly who it was. It was Anthony.
Oh, Jesus. Of course.
He was just throwing rocks. And I mean, it was the middle of the night. We're at Whitnell Park for those from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we were just up in the top of the ski hill. And he was just throwing rocks, but he was hitting metal things. And it brought the attention of people that worked there. So they called the cop.
No.
And we could have been gone in seconds because we're on a fucking hill and they're in a car. I could have easily, boom, I would have been gone. Never would have seen me out in the woods. I knew that. Me and Anthony knew that park perfectly by night, but we were with someone else and we weren't going to, I would have had to abandon him and I wasn't doing that. So we're like, yeah, we'll just sit here and wait. Anthony was about to be gone. I remember he was on the side of the hill ready to jump off the hill and be gone, disappear into the woods. But
good old Bert.
Yes. But yeah, that's the only times I did shit that was like against the law. There's my teenage story. But yeah, no, so you have that, and then you have, which again is the catalyst to have him end up in detention, which doesn't really matter because only 3 of the 5 Rangers are in detention. So
yes,
doesn't. I was thinking all 5 were going to be in detention because you need teenager with attitude, and that wasn't what they did.
Well, I mean, even with that, like the detention thing is almost worthless because they all bond and become a team elsewhere. As it is, like the detention thing really didn't do much for any of them, other than Jason and Billy, I guess.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it, and I guess Kimberly.
I don't know. My husband says that you could go either way, and I think the other way also would have been fine. To where you have this where they all end up going to detention. They're all teenagers with attitude. You have that joke, but then there's like an alternate universe where we have the movie, and they decide to keep them as a bunch of weirdos who are really into like justice and karate, and that's how you make them the outcasts of the school, by just like having them just be complete weirdos who are just super into like superhero shit for no reason and doing the right thing.
I like this. I like it that they're not the best people. Some of them.
They're all flawed in their own ways.
Yeah.
It doesn't get like really, really repetitive. I think the only one that I actually have kind of a goofy issue with is Trini.
And why is that?
So we'll go over real quickly what all their issues are. Jason is, fucked up and hurt his leg, and he was the star baseball, or not baseball. He was a star.
He hurt his leg.
Football. Yeah, he has like that.
I thought
that knee brace on the whole time.
I thought he got kicked off the team because he was a criminal.
He also got kicked off too, I think.
Okay.
Because I don't think they try to hide their injuries. So I mean, after they all heal from getting the coins, he's fine and he's watching them. So I mean, He probably got kicked off.
Yeah, he has no way of going back because of what he did with the cow.
Which is stupid.
High school thing, though.
Kimberly pissed off her friends who were the popular girls at school, and I guess they just decided to just shit list on her, I guess.
Well, she essentially did revenge porn, so.
Is that what it was?
She sent a picture of one of her friends. They talk a little bit about it, but apparently she sent her a nude picture, and then she sent that picture to her boyfriend at the time. And then he sent it to everybody else in the school.
Oh, okay.
She denies it at first, but later on in the movie, she comes clean to Jason and tells him what she did.
Yeah, when they're at the campfire, she declines to speak on it, and then finally drops that later on.
Yeah.
What is it? Billy's just autistic, and also he made a bomb.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I do like that they have an autistic character in this, and I think it's a pretty good adaptation.
Billy's
pretty good representation is the word I want.
Billy's hands down my favorite character in this whole movie. He makes this whole movie. And I also hear, I'll talk about it later, but I also heard low-key that they actually did have a script where they did kill him off in the movie, but they couldn't figure out how to make the movie work. So they had to rechange it.
To bring him back.
Yeah.
Why would you kill off the Rangers are 5 and then 6?
It'd be dumb to permanently kill him off. That just doesn't make sense.
It was supposed to be like a movie thing, where they wrote in the movie and they were going to try to stick with it, but to make it more adult, but they're like, no, we can't figure out. Because then how do you have them morph at the end of the movie or form the Zords? Yeah.
You can't. Well, hey, maybe you can go find some random kid at the school that he can then give his powers to when he dies, right? Is that how it works? Huh?
Yeah, sure.
I also like Zach's a little bit too, which his mom has a mysterious illness that he has to take care of for her, which is pretty cool. And then Trini has overbearing parents, and she's also gay, and that's what her issue is.
Oh, okay, that's what she was making comment. Okay, I didn't catch that. But
there you go, buddy.
I did not catch that.
Because
she doesn't say it. The movie they didn't pointedly blankly say it, but okay, now I get it.
They tried to be with this cast and these characters. They just tried to be all inclusive in every single way possible.
But that's good though. In this case, I mean, it's good in all cases. It works in this movie.
They switched a lot of the kids' races around too, which is completely fine as well.
Yeah, it doesn't. It was very cool. I mean, I liked what they did with the characters. Also, I don't know if you noticed when they showed Trini's mom. Did you recognize her, Joe? We saw her in one other thing that we did on the show.
No, who is Trini's mom?
She was in the Resident Evil Netflix series.
Oh God, you guys watched that?
Yeah.
Oh no.
It was okay.
But she was in that. She was the main woman villain.
Was she good in there?
She was fine.
Yeah. This is Resident Evil TV show.
It's bad. The show's not great. I would have liked to see season 2, but the show's not great. But yeah, she was fine. She's fine in this too. I mean, she only has one part where she thinks her daughter's on drugs because her daughter tells her.
I thought for that,
I love that
little time she had, she was all right.
Yeah. I recognize the guy too, but I can't place where I knew him from. But I recognized her father. But that's irrelevant. But they all have a different issue that they're dealing with, which again is very fitting because they're teenagers, and as we go through being teenagers, we have issues that happen to us. It's a very hard time. So I thought it was. I thought it's really good, and it really makes these characters stand out. You were right, Rich. I couldn't keep up with the regular Power Rangers, so I got episode 2 or 3, and I was like, nope, we're done.
Yeah, I told you, buddy. Did you watch the recap I sent you, or
no? Not yet. I need to do that. I kind of fell off Power Rangers.
Do you need a link for it?
No, I have it.
All right.
You should put the link. You should put the link in the group so I can watch it.
I think it might be in here somewhere.
It is in the group.
If you went far back enough, I can always send it again though. It's all good.
I don't know. I fell out of the mood, but now that I might get whenever I do this stuff, I get way more into it.
Fell out of the mood. How?
Yes.
My life has been revolving around Rangers still. We just literally played 2 games of Battle for the Grid yesterday.
That's cool.
So we ended up having Lord Zed as the boss, and then we kind of alternated on the monsters. But we lost the first run, won the second one. First run I was playing Alpha and Phantom Ranger. Second run I was playing Alpha and Zach, Black Ranger.
The hell is Phantom Ranger?
He originated in what is that? Turbo or Zeo? Okay. Zeo, I think.
He wasn't in the movie. I can tell you that much.
It was Turbo. He's pretty damn cool. He plays a actually pretty big role in the comics too. He got even cooler once I saw him in there.
Okay.
He looks like a biker.
Sort of. Yeah, and he has a cloak and stuff like that. He can phase. He's pretty damn cool.
And for Billy's issue is that his father died. And that was his thing that his father died like a year.
Is he not also poor too?
I think his mom's a van.
She's okay. I mean, I thought one of them kind of had some like. Okay, Zach, I'm pretty sure was poor. That's why they couldn't figure out like her medical issues and all that.
Yeah,
that would fit American. Yeah, she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
100%. But he's in a single parent household, and his mom's sick, so you can imagine just how much money they don't have.
Yeah,
where
they're probably living off of like her disability, basically, and her
even if she gets that, yeah. I mean, because does she speak English?
No, she speaks Mandarin.
All right, so there you go. Like she could be not even like be legal to get assistance.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, she had prescriptions. Yeah, she had prescriptions, which all looked legal, I guess.
No, I get where you're going. But hey, to go along with certain people, someone get mad at me for this because this happened to me and I can't elaborate. But hey, somebody told me recently, they said if those immigrants are coming over, they get hotels to stay at, while us Americans have nowhere to go. So,
yeah.
I can't elaborate why I heard that or where I heard that, but I heard that. I was just like, oh god, like that's not how this works. This country's not nice to anybody. It's not nice to people that like. You're absolutely wrong. It's like nobody's being taken care of. But hey, don't worry, the rich people are being taken care of. That's about it. So that's what I wanted to say to said person. So no, I do like what they did with all the characters. I like everything, and the way that they all meet at a freaking granite mine that apparently everyone's hanging out at for some reason.
Also, Billy's dad died there, I think they said.
Yeah, he died there. I think he worked there and he died in an accident.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Kimberly goes there because she lives nearby, so she walks the path and swims, skinny dips. But except this movie's not rated X, so not completely. And Zach just hangs out there because they never say how far he lives. He just hangs out there, and Trini goes there to meditate. And Jason's just there because he gave Billy a ride and then Billy went to go blow stuff up.
Nothing wrong with that. I also like a lot of it. People nowadays call it like the Iron Man back and forth or like the nonsensical babbling, but I like a lot of the back and forth they have with each other. Like
same.
Like Jason and Billy's going off about his backstory, and Jason's like, "Are you getting this done?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, and I think I'm on the spectrum. My dad's dead, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Billy, are you doing what you need to do? You're not really giving me an answer."
Well, that's because he's worried about the alarm going off because he has house arrest and he's not at his house. But I mean, I'm the same way. I work better when I'm multitasking. I get it. I'm the same way. I'll be doing a task and I'll just start talking, or I'll be editing a podcast and watching TV. Like I just need. I don't know. I'm kind of the same way. I need multiple things going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so I get it. I also think I might have been considered autistic, maybe in some way, but I think you ignore that.
You'll get evaluated, buddy.
There's no point now.
Everyone's on some form of spectrum. I think I have ADHD. I think my partner's some form of autistic. We're not really sure either.
I did take a test once. Some of those little answer questionnaire things, like you might be. I'm like, it doesn't matter. But no, I thought it was cool when Jason and Kimberly meet essentially for the first time at the lake. I like the way she handles herself. I like when he's like, I got a van. She's like, that's weird. He's like, you're not that kind of van. She's like, every van is like that. I'm like, yeah, you're right. If some random guy just has a van. One thing when people have kids, there's just some guy like, I got a van. Oh, do you have a job? No, I got a van. Do you have kids? No, but I got a van. Yeah, and then you go the other way. So
I told y'all that I watched Power Rangers when I was 5, so I don't really catch a lot of like the romantic stuff. Were Jason and Kimberly ever supposed to be a thing? Because they form a much better thing in this than I've ever seen in anything Power Rangers related.
They never really pushed them in the show much at all. I mean, there might have been a couple moments where they could have, but no, once Tommy came in and they kind of pushed that was it. Tommy ended up being a love interest for like every Pink Ranger from that point on. Like he eventually, Kim leaves, so Kat fills the role and they have a relationship eventually. And I saw the newest movie, they get married, have a kid, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. To which I also think we've all seen the Kickstarter or whatever that's made by Amy Jo Johnson. I think his actual daughter, which would, I think in like the comic wise, the Kat and Jason's daughter is going to be the new Green Ranger or something like that, right?
I think it's Kim's and Tommy's daughter in this, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think it's the same. It's not the same continuity as the comic run that they have now, as far as I understand. And again, it takes like 20 plus years in the future or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think it's like the same thing. And the comic is like releasing multiple issues, so there's no way I can even tell right now because they didn't mention her yet.
It looks cool. I'm very curious. I'm curious.
I read the first issue. It came out the 7th of this month.
Oh,
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. It was definitely worth reading. Remember the picture I sent of Zach missing a finger? Like, that's what that was from.
Okay. I do
yeah.
not.
Those comics of people's kids or other superheroes being older and getting powers sure is coming out really good. But I can't tell if it's because they're really good or if it's just nostalgia bait.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. So
yeah,
the way they push the new like Amy Jo comic is like more of a mystery.
I'm curious about it.
At least so far, the first issue is like straight up mystery.
I mean, and the stuff when they first get their morphers, I like it that they're just stones. That after Billy blows the hole in this mountain that Jason took him to just so he could borrow his van, and when the whole team meets each other and are committing a crime by being somewhere they're not supposed to be, like, which again, what do you think was going to happen when you set off a bomb? Like, people are going to be attracted to you. And like when the way that they go to this thing and they knock these rocks out and they take these rocks and that's how they get their morphers. Like, I think it's cool, and I like the fact that in this the morphers give them superhuman powers immediately, or not immediately. Well, like the next day.
I kind of didn't like that for two very specific reasons.
Okay.
One, I think it is cool they get superpowers, but I think it's weird that they have them on kind of like all the time. Only because I feel like it takes away from a very other important part, which not one, not two, but all three Power Rangers movies suffer from the exact same problem, which is you're making a Power Rangers movie. Why the fuck are they only in the suit for a maximum of 10 minutes?
You know what? In every other movie, I would bitch about that more. I'm okay with it in this movie since it's an origin story.
Well, I mean, realistically, this is a 2-hour movie. I think they were in the suits about, I want to say I even did it down to the fucking minute, but it was almost like 30 minutes of just being in the suits.
Mm-hmm.
That's
all
fine.
we get. In a 2-hour movie, I thought it was a little shit. They could have given us half the movie in that, but then again, higher budget. And you know what? I'm not going to bitch that much about it either, because I'll say this now, I'm not the biggest fan of how those suits look.
I'm not either. It's okay.
I didn't like the suits when I first saw this movie, which I think was 2018. They're okay. I'd rather have I like the original suits better, but because this is going towards a new generation and with the fit of the movie, they want it to be more, I take it as organic metal.
They wanted to make it like alien-like, and they took the forms of the animals and the species that was on the world at the time. I still did not like the look overall. To me, the helmets look like bike helmets that were shifted into like ranger helmets that to look like rangers, and then the rest of it looked like some Iron Man shit painted with different colors. Wasn't that excited about it. I mean, and like Joe was saying here, so they had the powers now almost organically without the suits, which kind of sucks in a way because the suits, other than like in the show, obviously, like all Rangers for the most part, they might have, like in later seasons, they might have one ability, like let's say some psionic ability, whatever, right? As an example, or can run really fast, superhuman speed at the most. These guys are doing everything a Ranger can outside of the suit, and the suits are almost treated as just like armor, and that's it. They even call it armor.
Yeah, I think I liked it because it really reminded me of Spider-Man.
Well, that's something I don't want to be reminded of. And you're right. It kind of did remind me of that. That's not what I want to
That's what they're playing for. Like, you know, the first time, like, the whole thing is they get into an accident, they get hit by a train with the van, and all of a sudden they all wake up in their houses where they should be dead. And then when Jason tries to touch the sink, that's when he breaks the sink. They make Kimberly break a phone, which really irritated me. Like, here we're going to show she's super strong. She broke a phone. Like, you couldn't have like had her break something else, like her bed or a mirror, like something that made more sense. Like she punched a hole in the wall. Like, come on now. I mean, okay, I had to rant. I also have to say, for some reason, I really like Naomi Scott. I think is Naomi Scott? Is that her name? Yeah, Naomi Scott in this movie. Really liked her.
Oh yeah.
So she also played Jasmine in the Aladdin reboot.
That's all I could keep seeing as I was watching it.
Oh, she's in that new Charlie's Angels movie. Wow, now I actually want to watch that movie. Huh.
I heard it's okay.
Hey, it's got her and it's got the girl from Twilight. I can't think of her name all of a sudden. Kristen Stewart. So I'm all on board now. I don't know what it was, but I just thought this woman was just goddamn gorgeous. It was like, I'm like, oh, okay. So there's my rant. But no, it's just, I can see where you're coming from. Like, I can see why it irritates you because you guys are also closer to the fandom than I am. Like, I like it, but I'm not as in, like, I didn't even really think about Power Rangers until we started doing this recording session where we did TMT, and then the next thing I know, I started doing a whole bunch more. You know, like, that's what got me more into it, where, like, for you guys, it was more of a, well, you both have, well, one of you guys has a green Vader, I know for sure, so.
Yeah.
And the other one has a bunch of Red Ranger stuff. So.
Well, I didn't want to bitch about like the suits necessarily because it is what it is, and I don't expect them to run out there in like spandex. You know, I'm not stupid, but they could have done a better job. Damn near the '96 movie almost did a better job on the suits.
Okay, I like the suits in '96 better, but I get why they went this route for 2017.
There's this really like niche, I would say niche, but it's probably more popular now. It's a manga anime called Gantz that I used to watch as a kid, and they made a live action version, and they're in the show comic manga anime, their suits are like skin tight, like basically skin tight suits, and they were trying to figure out how to make it into live action, and the live action they're leather based. And I feel like maybe you could have done that, kind of like the original suits from the original movie. And I also say that seeing like I sent it to y'all, but like the Shin Kamen Rider movie where they don't change a lot for that suit, they just kind of modernize it just a little bit, very small tweaks, and that suit is like perfect. But also America Can't Make Chick for Fuck, as proven, as the live action Marvel suits always kind of look kind of weird, and they have to have like belts and pockets and stuff like that.
Yeah, they very like loosely and sometimes change altogether from what the comics actually portray.
Yeah, and I also feel like they don't understand that they're supposed to be superpowers, because it's this and also the Dino Fury or whatever it's called, the new one that's their final season. They just
Cosmic.
make Cosmic Dino Fury. They make the helmets way too big. They just look weird because they think they're supposed to be helmets, but it's really just supposed to be something to keep your face covered.
Yeah, they look like bobbleheads, kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Funko Pops in them, though, I can tell you that much. Oh, for a while since I brought that up, this was the only Power Ranger Funko Pop that they had were these. It wasn't until after this movie didn't work out, then we finally got releases we actually ended up, I think they just came out last year in 2023, we got releases of the whole set. We didn't have, at one point we had them, but it took a while. It was after this movie too, which I thought was weird that you make Funko Pops of this movie and you completely skip the original shit. And we still never got anything past Mighty Morphin. We've gotten all the Mighty Morphin, green, white, but nothing past it. They've never done Zeo. They've never done anything.
Well, that was like even with the Hasbro line, like a lot of people were bitching because like there was so much love for the original Mighty Morphin. But then again, that's what most people are looking for.
Yeah, but I still think you should have other stuff.
Well, and Hasbro did. They did release some other stuff and to a decent amount, but just like the sales don't ever reflect. So nobody ever has an incentive to really do it.
Okay, Rich is probably going to agree with me. Okay, Mike, we can bring back a Power Rangers reboot. Which one are you going to do? You can do the original Mighty Morphin with Power Rangers, the original Power Rangers Mighty Morphin with robots and fucking dinosaurs, or do you want this one with trains, or do you want this one with cars?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm okay with it. I just think that, if there's something when it comes to like Funko Pops and they make shit for everything, why isn't there more love for other? Because I'm sure, just do smaller batches. Somebody will buy it. I mean, hell, they make Funko Pops for like everything. Black Adam has a ton of Funko Pop. Hell, there's a Black Adam 5-pack coming out, or 4-pack with all the Justice Society of America, whatever the fuck they're called. That's coming out in 2024. So, hey, Funko makes dumb shit all the time. Like, why can't you make something for the TV show people love at some point?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was more of a licensing thing. Who knows?
But then again, too, I think Rich said, too, they've kind of proven. I remember the Hasbro showcase when they were showing off all the toys. They really kind of shelved. I remember seeing like on Twitter, people were talking about how they shelved Transformers and Power Rangers because they just kept showing off a bunch of Star Wars stuff. But Rich has proven. What is it that you bought recently that you got lucky because it completely sold out? Was it like the Space Rangers or something?
Oh, the Omega Rangers?
Yeah, like
the comic.
Yeah. So people are huge Power Rangers fans. Just stupid people like Bandai Namco and stuff don't think it's popular, and they're like, no, you want Star Wars, right? It's like, no, just give me more Green Ranger stuff.
Well, there is one thing I thought was kind of like when Billy finds out he has a couple ways, but when the bully at the school tries to break his wrist, Like, this kid's just gonna go up and break the guy's wrist. I'm like, what the fuck? But then again, I didn't go to, maybe that happened at Rich's school, apparently.
Usually it's more violent than that. But
I mean, it was just weird to me. But again, my school
I thought it was
much.
a bit extreme, especially just, for that kind of school and that kind of area. I was like, that's a little extreme, but hey, he's a bully, right? Who gives a shit? I'm sure it happened.
It was just, I don't know, I just found it odd.
You didn't mention school, what is it, my friends?
Mention what?
What is the school, my friends? What is the school name?
Angel Grove?
There it is. So they did use some elements in this movie from the show. There's a lot of Easter eggs. Not a lot, maybe, but there was enough.
One hurt my feelings.
Which one?
The last one.
Oh, yeah, okay, we'll get to that one.
Yeah, that'll be the end part of the conversation, but yes. I also got to say, like...
Did you notice that who saw Brightburn here?
Brightburn.
You never saw that?
You ever seen Brightburn?
What's Brightburn?
Buddy.
Shit.
We got to get this guy to watch Brightburn.
Is it a movie?
Yeah, it's evil Superman, dude.
Yeah, the almost the same exact origin story as Superman, and then it shows what happens if he doesn't go the right way.
Oh, no, I've never even heard of this movie.
Yeah, it came out probably around this time, maybe
2019.
There you go. A couple years later.
Okay.
And so that's the dad in Brightburn is the dad in this.
Oh, okay, the guy that gets mad at Jason for...
Jason's dad. Oh, Jason's dad, I should say, yes. That's the dad. It's Jason's dad, yes.
Well, to be fair, he's the one that... I mean, you do see Kimberly's dad for a second when he said, "What did you do to your hair?" I do like how she cuts off her hair, by the way. I thought that was...
I hate it. That's such a cliche. I was just looking at, like, Wallpaper Engine on Steam, because I've had it for years, but I was just, like, looking up some stuff. I was like, let me go to some of my favorite games. I already got some Final Fantasy IX stuff. You already know where I'm going with this shit. And I look up some stuff, and there's the dagger scene in Alexandria cutting off her goddamn hair. I was like, I just saw this in Power Rangers, and I see it in like every other thing. Please stop it. I don't know one woman that's done that. Like,
I do.
Oh.
Tanya did it once.
Oh, well.
When we were together, at one point, she would have been, I mean, technically would have been the age of the characters in the movie, 16, 17, she cut her hair with scissors.
Rebelliously? Like,
I don't remember what it was. Something like that.
That's usually what it is. It's like more...
It was something like that. Sure. I can't...
did I remember her even doing that? That sounds familiar to me, but...
You might have, but you might have also confused it with FF9, who knows? It was around the same time.
Jesus, but either way, like, it's such a cliche in shows and movies and just media in general. It's like, please stop.
It is, but Naomi Scott is so fucking hot in this that I was okay with it.
She could have.
Normally, I don't get like this, but I was like, man. So it must be said. I don't.
No, I agree with you, Mike. It's okay.
There's only certain actresses that I'm just like, Kate Beckinsale, Scarlett Johansson, and apparently this one is another one where I'm just like, damn. So yeah. But I felt like the movie flows well. Like the way they find Zordon is by accident. They're jumping over a cliff and Billy falls in, and they think he's dead, but then turns out he fell through the water fell in the water or fell in the water, and that's how they end up leads them to Zordon's ship. And I like the idea that Zordon's ship is all those years ago it crashed, and then just time just covered it in dirt because I think you see the meteor hit in the opening. That's what.
I mean, this is 65 million years later, so yeah, it's gonna happen.
But it's just cool. I don't know. I really liked it.
So there's a specific person, I don't know who what is it? Someone like on that team deserved a raise for whoever went. Who did we get as Zordon? And someone went Bryan Cranston, and I immediately would have went, oh yeah, that guy's getting that for fucking raise.
Well, I didn't know this till I read the Easter egg stuff, but Bryan Cranston was why the guy's called Billy Cranston as a reference to him.
Because he did the voices of monsters.
Wow. Really?
In the original show, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So it's just full circle here.
I don't like that they made Zordon kind of a huge asshole, though. That's probably my only issue, though, with it.
I mean, he's been probably like inactive for the 65 million years. So, and he's coming back trying to deal with some human kids humans weren't even like a thing evolved yet. They weren't
around yet.
So
sorry, I just figured there. I unplugged myself.
Yeah, it's all good. So, he's dealing with like immaturity, and this guy's like fucking severely old. Doesn't have the patience. And how urgent all this is, too. It's like, come on, we got to get this shit moving.
I like how Zordon's kind of an asshole to them and doesn't like them. Like, it makes sense. And I like the idea that he's just really using them.
Yeah.
What they find out midway in the movie is that he wants them to morph because when they open the path of the morphing grid, he can then come back to life and get out of the wall because he died all those years ago and he's just trapped in the ship. Like, I like that. I think that it gives him a motive to what he's doing other than trying to save the world. Everything makes I feel like it's a good roundabout, and it also breeds they don't trust him at one point, kind of, and I think that's good too because you wouldn't trust a random alien thing you found underwater. So
So I realized a discrepancy, by the way, as well. Not in this. I'm hoping Rich can answer it for me.
What do you got?
Okay, so in Power Rangers, why is Zordon in a tube?
Oh boy.
So, he can't answer this.
So, like I guess if we're going by the comic canon, is that kind of what we? That's probably the most fleshed out story.
Yes, or you know what? The main issue would be why is he in the tube in the original show?
In the original. I don't even in the original show. I don't know if I really have an answer for that one.
Cheap bastard.
Well, because you sent us that clip where it had Alpha 9,
Alpha 6,
Alpha 6,
Alpha 6 with the rapid one, right?
That's the Raphael one. Yeah.
Oh god,
yeah,
that hurt me.
But you have the old Alpha, and he's like, "Hey, me and Zordon are leaving. Have a good day. Bye, guys." And they leave. But then I was watching that clip, and I'm like, "Wait, wasn't Zordon in like the tube in like the movie?" Because
but in the show, that's not the same. I don't like the movie. Just kind of did their own shit, man. Like,
oh, okay, that makes more sense then.
And in the comics, it's not like that either. That's the only iteration to where he's like a physical body in a tube.
Okay,
I think in the show, it's supposed, like in the Green Ranger stuff, it feels like it's something where he was just trapped there because he's partly dead, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Most of the times, most iterations of him have to do with him dying or his physical body failing in some way. So yeah, pretty much that.
Okay.
But it was just, I like it in here. And Alpha 5, I don't really care for in this, but he's fine. He looked organic, alien-y, metal-y, but yeah.
Yeah, and I had Bill Hader as the voice. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I didn't hate it. I'll say that. I didn't hate the look. I didn't hate the voice. It was passable for me.
I like Bill Hader, but yeah, it was fine.
I like his fat little belly.
And Alpha could actually fight in this. He was kind of whooping ass a bit.
Yeah. And then the one character we haven't talked about yet, Rita, played by Elizabeth Banks.
Am I the only one glad they turned her into a literal fucking like horror movie monster?
Oh yeah, I was glad they did that.
Okay, I paused at that scene when she first shows up in the dreams, and I should almost take a picture of it to send to you guys and post on Facebook. I didn't. And fuck, is she freaky?
Yeah, they were going for straight up horror elements in this.
I like it.
No, they need the cone hair and the cone titties. They could have still gotten scary out of that. But
hell yeah.
Sure.
But the thing you got to think too, like, so even though they had like a more authentic teenage feel to what's going on in the show, a lot of kids were exposed to this. So that Rita probably scared the shit out of a lot of kids.
That scene in the dream in the darkness, like, it hits.
Yeah,
it's a powerful horror scene. Like, I'm like, damn, it's like a jump scare.
She PG-13s people, but she also pretty much is. They've even say on the news they call her like the gold serial killer, and like they say she's like killed like 15, 20 people at some point.
I like it. You also see, I thought it was good. One complaint that I have it's a small stupid complaint, but it's a complaint. Is nobody ever mentions there's no part of Billy getting yelled at, like his mom going, "Billy, where's the van? Where's the fucking van?" Like nothing. Nobody.
Right.
You fucking just destroyed their car, and nobody's like, "Oh, what happened to the van?" Oh, nothing.
It's fine.
No, it's not. I want to know. I want my scene of him getting yelled at and grounded. I know it's not what the movie's going for, but that's what I wanted. Oh, but no, Rita stuff is just like them finding her underwater, and it's because they fished her out of the water that she starts to wake up, I guess. I think that's what did it. Or is it because they found the morphers and that's what woke her up? That might have been it. Because when she's lying in the water, it's the green morpher starts to activate, and maybe it's supposed to be around the same time that they're doing their thing when they activated their morphers.
Maybe, because I thought it was supposed to be like a weird coincidence.
Because I was wondering, I watched that scene again 3 times now, and I was wondering if it's like something where it gets activated, like the guy touches it and a live person activates it, but it might just be because they activated theirs that the green one got activated again, and that seems to be what brings her back to life. I'm guessing. Well,
you know what kind of like bothered me a little bit is how did this shit all happen at the same time? They find these coins and then they find her. Why did it all happen coincidentally at the same time? I felt they could have done better with that.
Did you want her to be in a trash can on the moon and astronauts open it up?
Fuck yes. It. Yeah.
Now you do the smart thing, which also probably would have worked too, because they found her in like, what is it? They found her in the ocean. They probably should have done it to where they found the 5 coins and then fucking with the 5 coins, the 6th coin was a little bit away and they didn't see it. and when they get their coins, it activates her, and then you see someone catch her in the ocean.
Yeah, like maybe rescue her or something. That would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with what happened, but I like your idea. I have no complaints with what the movie does. By the way, I do want to elaborate on that. I have no complaints with it. I thought it was actually pretty good.
How do we feel about Goldar?
Hate it.
I don't like it either. I did like the fact that she's a gold serial killer, and then why she's getting all the gold. Rich, don't you have a gold tooth, or used to at one time, or had the plating? That's what
I had plating at one point. Yeah.
Okay, a long time ago. That's what I thought of when I saw that. But I like the fact that she's just ripping people's teeth out and stuff and killing them.
She also goes to a jewelry shop too, doesn't she?
She does.
Yeah, and then she then she pulls all the gold out. Yeah,
that's where she gets a large amount of her gold there.
Yeah, because she's using the gold to make the staff, and then Goldar comes out of a gold mine, I guess. Or Goldar died in that spot when the meteor hit, and so I don't know. Whatever. But it worked for me. But no, he's stupid looking. I remember the figures, and I remember this is stupid.
No, there's a
lifeless golem.
There's a good universe where Goldar is played by like John Cena or something.
But then you wouldn't be able to see him.
Oh, Jesus, there we go.
I had to make that dumb meme.
But
even though I only know the meme, I don't know the wrestling. So
that's all you need to know. He's it's kind of cringy with the wrestling. But
that's because that's wrestling for you.
John Cena's even worse. He was the WWE Superman.
He's not in WWE anymore, is he?
He still makes appearances and stuff. I mean, he's super part-time, if anything.
Well, he's too busy making movies.
TV shows, movies, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we
a lot easier. This dude's old now. He's like 40 plus.
Oh, damn.
He's like probably pushing 50 at this point.
Damn. He's on the Peacemaker show we talked about on the show at one point.
Yeah, he is.
So, yeah.
Does a good job.
Good show. We'll get a season 2 at some point. Somehow. That will connect with the universe. That makes no sense, but all right. But back to this movie, like, and then after they do meet Zordon and they get there and they find out, like, I do like all the bonding stuff that they do with like them training, fighting the the hologram golems or putties. I like these putties though. Goldar might be dumb, but these putties are cool.
That makes sense. I'm not mad at them. They're bulky and fucking weird, but they're fine. Better than Goldar.
Yes, Goldar's dumb, but it's okay. I also like the teenager stuff. I thought, like, normally I'm not into that, but it's actually the teenager stuff in this was actually really good. Like the way all the characters are bonding and what they're going through was actually entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I could have had more of that even, and that would have been all right. And I normally don't say that.
Didn't hate it at all. It actually did. It was good for the movie, I feel.
Well, and Rita has a real reason that she wants the crystal to get power. Like, I thought that was good. Like,
well, she gets the Zeo crystal. It also gives her the power to not only take away life, because she takes that crystal. All life on Earth, they said, is going to be the equivalent of like what 10 megaton bombs or more, or whatever the hell it was. So she can kill everybody just with doing that, and go to any planet she wants and create more life instantaneously. It's
cool. I mean, it gives her a purpose. It gives her a reason, and I like the fact that since she had she was a green Power Ranger, that she has like the green armor that she ends up kind of getting as she progresses later in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense because in the show she has the green coin, but we never find out why in the show. We don't, do we?
In the show, I don't think they really elaborate. I wish they did, but I don't think they elaborate.
I know the comics they do.
Comics definitely do, and I need a recap of it, but they do.
Okay.
Yeah, this movie came out in the wrong time because I feel like if it had come out probably a little bit later, we probably wouldn't have gotten a movie. We probably would have gotten at least a 5-episode special.
Yeah.
I think if this would have came out in a couple years later, I think it would have succeeded.
That
too. It came out at the wrong time, and people weren't ready for this, and they were upset, and it just didn't work out.
This was also trying to ride the Marvel high too, as well, and like the edgy reboot.
Mm-hmm.
And this wasn't owned by Hasbro. Saban still owned the rights to Power Rangers. After this didn't make the money he wanted, he then sold it to Hasbro.
Of course he fucking did.
Shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's another reason why this movie, because like this movie cost 100 to 105 million to make, and box office 142 worldwide. So not great. I mean, it probably broke even.
That sounds like breaking even.
But that's not. He wanted money, and he didn't get what he wanted, so he just sold it.
Well, yeah. How much? Like to make another movie? Like, really, is it worth it at that point? If you're just breaking even, not necessarily. No.
Well, you also make your money on all the toys and everything else, all the merchandise. And
I don't think those were very big sellers either.
Probably not.
Because
it's all the Funko Pops everywhere.
It's the same issue as the original Power Rangers. They didn't make enough fucking toys because he's a cheap bastard. but because I think at most we had was like a Morpher, and then we had like I want to say it was a what do you call it, the Megazord.
I mean, we
with,
had a decent, but I mean, most of the toys were also stuff that was made. Everything was just brought over from Japan.
Mhm.
They just restickered it and stuff. Almost everything was toys that were already
The
made.
toys were shit quality. I mean, they didn't have anything like when you really compare it to bigger toy lines, like Turtles wouldn't stop pumping toys out of their ass. Whereas Power Rangers, yeah, you had a couple base like sets, and then that was it. Like you had gigantic ones, you had the smaller ones, but it wasn't too much. And the quality was kind of ass.
I don't remember them very well. I only had some because I wasn't in Rangers. I was only in the Rangers like maybe a year as a kid. It wasn't very long. I was out, I want to say, by season 2. So I did see the movie though, so I'm not sure. I remember I did see the movie in theaters. I can tell you that much. But no, I mean, when I was rewatching this last night, and I was like, I was entertained the entire movie, and I was entertained by everything. I was entertained by the teenager stuff. Like I didn't even mind that they don't morph until later in the movie. Like it was fine. I like it that Billy's the first one to morph. I thought that was cool.
Sure. Again, because the teenage stuff was pretty interesting, I didn't hate it that much. But am I here for teenage drama, or am I here to see more Power Rangers shit?
I was here for both, and that's the thing that was weird because like, we watched Turbo, we watched the terrible Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie with the Ooze, and this was more entertaining by a long shot. And I enjoyed the fact that there's not even that much Ranger. There's more Ranger stuff than Turbo, I feel, but I enjoyed it. Like it didn't bother me that it took them forever. And I thought that was odd that it didn't bother me. But the movie was just entertaining enough that I didn't care.
I think I'd be less mad if we got a second movie.
That's what they were planning. So, this feels like an MCU origin movie because that's what it was. And I'm not upset with that.
I think ultimately, like, because the acting was decent. I had no problems with the acting. Even the Easter eggs they threw in were great and respectful, as small as they were. The new elements they put in, like they did a lot of things right. I think what they did wrong, at least in my opinion, were majority of the aesthetics. I think that turned a lot of people off, and you don't have to make them what they were, but it just wasn't right. It didn't look good, and
I think we just weren't ready for this.
Well, in what aspects? I mean, I think at that time they might have put it out maybe even almost at the right time, because if Marvel was doing its thing, that was huge. We had what going on at that time. The big Avengers movies were going on at that time, and people Justice League was actually around that time too.
Yeah, that's why people were upset, huh?
Maybe. I mean, it was oversaturated, sure, but again, that to me, I think it was aesthetics, because people look at these toys in the store and are like, "What the fuck?" Like, I guess
Wonder Woman was 2017. Get Out. It, Coco, Blade Runner 2049, just name a few.
I have something that's more like Power Rangers. So 2017 was Spider-Man Homecoming. It was Transformers The Last Night. Justice League, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor Ragnarok.
A lot of shit.
Yeah. Logan. You know what? I think that's probably what Coco too. I think this came out the same time fucking Logan did.
Logan was so different from everything else we just listed.
Yes, but if it's a comic book movie in that sense that it could have drawn people.
Logan is the movie everyone's wanted for years, and it's the whole thing where I watched you guys ever watch Treasure Planet?
Same month, not same date, but same month.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen Treasure Planet?
No,
I have not.
That movie's absolutely fantastic, and it did horrible by Disney standards. And the only reason why it did horrible by Disney standards, it came out the same weekend Harry Potter came out.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. I like the Zords in this. I thought the Zords are actually pretty cool. I mean,
I thought the Zords were okay. I didn't hate them as much as the armor that they wore. But yeah, no, I didn't mind them.
I enjoyed them. I wouldn't buy toys of them, but I enjoyed them. I did think that the T-Rex looked like a chicken at first, but yeah, that's fair. It just looked like a chicken to me when it was running at one point.
I don't know why the Mammoth Zord looked like a goddamn fucking an armored beetle for some reason.
Yeah, you're right. I'm watching it right now. It does not look like a mammoth at all. It looks like a beetle. Don't know why.
Yeah, when I saw it in the theaters, I'm like, what the fuck is that supposed to be? I just did not make it out.
Because it doesn't look like what it should look like.
Well, I mean, you got to think too, because this was the reflecting the what was it era? They said thought I wrote it here somewhere.
They do say it, but I don't.
The Cenozoic era, right? 65 million years ago. I'm assuming when the meteor hit, there were no mammoths at that time. There was no saber-tooths.
So good point.
How do they explain that?
They don't. They expect you not to be aware of that fact. That's all. Because I wasn't completely aware of that fact until just now. I'm like, oh yeah, he's right. I forgot that fact. So we'll go with that. No, I just thought the Zords were cool. The Megazord I don't care for too much in this.
Didn't like that either. If anything, it reminded me of something out of Pacific Rim.
That's fair.
Looked like a damn Jaeger.
That's fair. Maybe that's what they're going for too. I mean, they were trying. I was watching a review. One thing they complained about with this movie is, well, a couple things they complained about. One was the Zords, how they can just drive it without any training. This movie, let it go. And the other complaint they had was,
well, same though for the show. They didn't have any damn training in those Zords. That's the thing with Power Rangers. You're just kind of supposed to connect with it.
Yeah, just let it go.
Yeah.
Don't let it get.
There's nothing new there.
Yeah, and you just have to let that go. And I mean, I do find it funny that their clothes are nowhere near as color coded as what we're used to. That was kind of nice.
They definitely weren't. But
I'm okay with that.
What was the other complaint?
He complained about this. They could drive the Zords. He also. What else did he complain about? Damn, I can't. I had it, then I lost it. So, but that was one of his complaints. One of the big ones where they could drive the Zords. I'm like, that's a stupid complaint.
One small thing was to me is like, well, the Rangers in all the shows, they had some type of martial arts background, whereas these ones didn't, like almost any of them.
No, they don't.
And they're out there just kind of like power punching and haymakers, and I guess, I mean, in that sense, like their strength from the coins kind of help that out. That can kind of explain some of that to make up for the lack of martial arts. Plus, I guess when they're in their armored suits, they can just hit hard as hell, I would assume. So I'll take it.
I didn't question it. I didn't really think about it, to be honest.
Well, I mean, when you come to comparing the two,
yeah,
that's one of the more like obvious kind of things. But did it bother me? Not necessarily. Well, they did get training from Alpha. I guess there's that.
Oh yeah, they are training for a week.
So they got that. Whatever.
I do like how they come together because Goldar is alive when they actually finally start coming together, or just about to be.
By the way, when Goldar is stomping through town, they destroy a Camaro in the town, and it hurt my feelings.
It's a red Camaro too.
It's actually yellow.
The Bumblebee thing.
They mentioned right? Bumblebee. Yeah, it's kind of like a shot at Transformers. Which
I was thinking about. Like, hey, Hasbro owns both. I'm like, oh yeah, not yet, because Hasbro didn't buy this yet.
Yeah, I think it was just more because the Zords can transform. They were just kind of throwing a fun shot out.
Yeah, I feel like had Hasbro already bought this, they might have made a second movie.
Shit, maybe. Well, it depends, because I mean, if it didn't sell well, like, or if the movie didn't like do well, just look at what's going on with the Lightning Collection now. If you guys aren't aware, the Power Rangers line is on hiatus right now.
Oh, why?
From what I understand, due to like sales.
Oh, it's just not selling well enough.
I would guess not. I mean, the main like the Mighty Morphin runs are probably selling well, but I doubt the rest of the line, because in every series that they bring out in Lightning Collection, they have, let's say, on average, 1 to 2 Mighty Morphin in there, and then the rest are like other series.
Yeah.
Other seasons, and you can imagine most of the line is going to be like, oh, they got a new Green Ranger, let's get him, and then the other ones kind of fall off.
I can get that, because, yeah. I mean, then you just make stuff pre-order only, and you just do more smaller batches.
Yeah.
Because somebody will buy this. I mean, hell, Hasbro does the HasLab stuff where they make really big, cool stuff, but you have to pre-order it.
They were doing some type of like facial scans for Power Rangers. I was actually going to do it eventually. I just kept holding off. I was like, they'll never get rid of it. Oh, was I fucking wrong?
Oh, they got rid of it?
That's done.
Yeah, then you got to wait for the secondhand market, someone to sell it.
What, a facial scan of myself?
Oh, no, never mind. I thought it was like facial scans of the actors.
Oh, no, like yourself, and then
you put it on the toy? Yeah. Why do they get rid of that? Like, that's something you can keep selling to people. It doesn't cost you anything. You just don't do it until somebody orders it.
Certain fans would complain about the quality and all that, so maybe it wasn't worth it. I don't know, but I think you're paying upwards, like, probably $80 to $100 for something like that.
Oh, easy. But you can get figures of others. Like, they have that where you can get facial scans and get figures of stuff.
From what I understand, they got rid of it.
Well, I do know a lot of people complain about Hasbro lately, because I'm part of a Facebook group, a toy group. I could not think of the word toy group on Facebook, and they complain about Hasbro. It's like when Hasbro went to the packaging where you couldn't see the figure anymore on the front.
Yeah,
they're like, we did this. Yeah, and they're like, this is stupid.
Windowless kind of thing. It's horrible especially for somebody that collects them all in the box like I do.
Yeah, and they said that they don't think it's actually for recycling purposes. They think it was for cheaper purposes. Nothing to do with that. Plus, Walmart people Walmart, for example, people will switch out figures and return it with some other figure in there. I'm like, oh, so you don't even know if you're going to get what you're buying.
Yep, and it's been happening for a lot of years. I remember when I was into wrestler figure collecting, I was very big into it, and I would just go in there, I'd see a box, and I'm looking for a specific guy, and they'd have like fucking He-Man or something in there. It's like, what?
Because nobody cares.
The workers don't know any better. Well, besides that, even if it looks a little weird, you think they're gonna do some digging. They don't give a shit. They're making like damn near minimum wage shit hours. I mean, they don't care.
I remember I would have cared when I worked and stuff, and they'd call me down when I used to work at Target a long, long time ago. They called me down. Hey, check this out. I remember that happening in video games.
And how rare is that? Everybody else doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, no, I know. You shouldn't. But yeah, that's what it made me think of. Oh, the campfire scene is good in this movie when we talk a little bit about it, where they open up to each other. I do like that. I really like campfire scenes for some reason, Rich. I don't know why.
Couldn't tie that one down, huh?
Nothing. I got no idea. It's not like I have a canvas above me from a certain game with a campfire scene.
Oh yeah. So. I didn't mind it. I did enjoy that they had an incentive to try to get to know each other more and work as a team and be more coherent. It's fine.
I'm trying to think what other scene. And then the stuff with Rita, where Rita tricks them, because you have Billy dying in this film at one point.
Yeah.
Which I did not expect, by the way. I completely forgot that was a thing.
Honestly, I forgot it happened too.
It's good though. Like, he completely dies. Like, it doesn't last long, but it's a good scene to really bond them, and that's kind of what makes them finally become the Rangers. And it shows Rita's like fucking is able to kick their ass.
I mean, he's dead for quite a while. I mean, wouldn't he have like brain damage?
Bullshit magic.
You'd be gone. I mean, yes. Well, sir, after the amount of time that you're dead, that you don't have a very long time to get yourself. If you stop breathing, your heart stops beating to get it back up and going before you ain't coming back. Mm-hmm. But magic,
I'll take it. Just being an ass.
Well, they also it is stupid movie magic anyways, because wasn't the whole point that they were supposed to bring Zordon back, and he didn't have a body to come back to, so I have no idea how they were planning on doing that.
I just kept imagining him like this light, and he just slowly walks out of the Morphin grid with some fucking body. I mean, that's the only thing that made sense to me.
Yeah. I do like that he's using them at first for selfish reasons. Like, I thought that was good, that it wasn't just save the world. It was, I need to come back because only I can do it, and I need to stop Rita.
I mean, realistically, wouldn't you trust yourself if you have experience? I fully get it, yeah.
You wouldn't trust a bunch of teenagers with attitude? What?
If considering he doesn't barely know what the hell that means. I mean, somewhere between adolescence and adulthood.
I do like that they weren't chosen in this. Like in the original show, they're just chosen. This is just people who randomly found these things, and they just take on great power comes great responsibility. So I'm okay with it though. I also like at the back of their suits, when you see like where it had the lights, all I could think of was Dead Space on their spines. Like, see what their health is like. All I could think of. Can't be the only one that thought that.
I actually didn't. As much as I'm a big Dead Space fan, it didn't cross my mind. But hell yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I didn't like the suits when I saw them previously, but in this watching or a couple watchings, I like the suits, and I'm watching it right now while we're talking, and I'm like, they look good in action.
I will say this: I almost wish they brought it out in Lightning Collection. I would have bought the Red Ranger.
I believe that completely. Yeah, they never brought these out in the Lightning Collection.
No,
I guess they're trying to forget this movie exists.
I don't know. I would assume it's some licensing issues because they don't release that shit any other than the Funkos. Like I don't, and then maybe the figures that came out initially. Hasbro's never touched anything 2017 movie.
Yeah, because Saban still owned it, so there's probably some rights to it with him still owning it.
Or the studio that made it. I mean, that's why we don't have Ive News.
Yeah. You think you could get the rights to it? You think somebody would be like, yeah, sure, we'll sell it to you for like not a crazy
In the
fee.
comics, they did have fucking Ivan show up, and I know it's one panel. I couldn't tell you what issue it was, but they fucking had him in there.
Comics different. You can get away with shit in comics you can't do with other stuff because they just don't care as much about it.
Well, that
look at
and the look
video
that
games
I think they used for him was the one where he was like handing out the ooze to all the kids. They didn't really go on the full like purple look.
Okay. That's probably right. Just you to have it, but escape it at the same time. Like, I mean, think about like when we're kids, like some of the video games, like Earthbound, for example. They have tunes that are not, they did not legally able to put in that game. They put in that game, but it was kind of something that nobody noticed at the time.
Shit, look at Robo's theme.
Yeah, it's funny how long it took me to realize what that was, huh?
Yeah, you're late bloomer on that one, but you got it.
I like that song, by the way. Not just Robo's song, like the other song too.
I figured that. Yeah.
I really like that song. But I know in Earthbound there's a few like tracks that are references like some Beatles songs and all sorts of other stuff. I can't remember what they all, but I know there's stuff like that. So.
Shit, Doom has stuff that ripped off of Slayer and Megadeth. Like I listen to Megadeth to this day. It's like a lot of my workout playlists. Hangar fucking 18 sounds just like some shit from Doom because Doom took from it.
But video games weren't noticed at that time, so they were able to get away with some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that we get a whole fight of them in the Zords fighting Goldar before they morph, and I thought that was good too. That was pretty creative. Where they and then because they don't even know how to morph, it isn't until they get beat, pushed in the hole, and then they, I guess, because of the power of the Zeal Crystal, then they morph. I did like that. I thought even though the Megazord isn't very cool in this, it's good enough.
Yeah, very, very Jaeger-like.
Yeah, it is. And they don't even have the sword, do they? No, they pull out like the blades from the back of it, like the wings of the pterodactyl.
Kim's pterodactyl, yeah.
But they don't have the sword they should have, which I think they were saving for another movie.
Mm-hmm. But maybe.
I'm guessing they had plans. They had, as I was saying, they had 6 movies planned.
From what I remember, the mentioning Zeo, all kinds of shit they were going to go through.
It makes me so sad.
It had potential. Like, as much as I have issues with the aesthetics of it, like, this shit really had potential.
Oh, man, they teased the second movie, and it's just Ivan Ooze again. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Oh, I would have laughed so hard.
And then after they beat Goldar, they beat Rita, and then... Oh, she gets thrown into space because they slap her.
Yep. They swat her ass out in space. She blasts off like Team Rocket.
It's fucking hilarious, though.
Yeah.
And then, like...
leaves the door open for her to come back, too.
Yes. I would have loved. It just made me like. Normally, I don't know. I mean, I don't care when I don't. But I was really upset that I didn't get a sequel to this. Like, it really bummed me out now. Like, I would have loved to see a whole trilogy of these movies.
Honestly, like when I watched it in the theaters, and then months later, whenever they canceled the rest of them, I was a little let down. I was like, well, I was kind of ready to see what was coming here.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not it was the greatest thing I've ever seen didn't matter. I was ready to see more.
I mean, I know there was complaints about the product placement with Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, people bitched about that.
But you know what? Hey, it's in a town. It is a real thing that would be in a town. It's like, it's fine. It's not like Sonic saying, I want to go to Olive Garden. This is better.
Mm-hmm. I didn't have an issue with it. I didn't give a damn.
Plus, Krispy Kreme paid. So, it's fine. That's why it's there. What were you going to say, Joe?
There's a lot of product placement at the end of this movie, and also a lot of licensed music throughout this movie as well.
Yes, but I don't mind product placement as long as it fits. And if you're in a real city, I'm okay with having real businesses that would be in said city. That doesn't bother me. Like, I don't care if someone's drinking a Coke. Fine. I drink it. We're human. They're going to drink Coke, Pepsi, whatever. Like, as long as it fits. Like, I don't like it. Like, I wouldn't want to play Doom and there's an advertisement for Coke. Like, run Mars here. But, like, it fits in this world. I'm okay with it.
Or you could be watching Madam Web and she's fighting the main bad guy and she drops a Pepsi sign on him, thus killing him. That could also be pretty bad as well.
I'm okay with that. Because there could be a Pepsi sign wherever they're fighting. As long as it's fitting. Like, I'm okay with stuff like that.
Jesus.
I don't mind as long as it's in the real world. I just don't, like, I wouldn't want to play Lord of the Rings game. There's advertisement for stuff. Like, that's, I forget.
Like
I remember
a new
there was
Alienware PC or something.
Yeah, there was some video game, I think it was a Rainbow Six game, that actually had movie posters in one of the levels, and they could change out and put different ads in there. And it was for online play, and they would have different ads, so when you play it, you see an ad. So, I think it was Rainbow Six Vegas. I could be wrong. Maybe it didn't happen, but I feel like it did. But that's neither here nor there. So... And then should we talk about Joe's favorite scene that made him cry?
Well, before you do that,
yes.
I got one more. Jason's dad's driving through Angel Grove trying to find him because he don't know where the hell he is. He's not answering his phone. He's driving around and he's trying to tell him where he's at. He's like, hey, I'm driving down. I'm near Reefside Street and Mariner Bay. You guys might have read that in the Easter eggs I sent you. I noticed it as he was saying it, which caused me to look that up. And then send it. Then I saw the whole list. I was like, oh, let me send it to these guys. But I recognized Reefside right away because it was Dino Thunder, and I'm watching Dino Thunder.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, shit, that's got to be a reference to that. And then I was like, what's Mariner Bay? And then I saw Lightspeed Rescue. So that was pretty cool.
That's
to
cool.
too.
Well, I know one of the complaints that the guy had is that he said that Elizabeth Banks was in a different movie, that she was going more campy where it wasn't, and that's what he complained about. Which I completely disagree. I think Elizabeth Banks fit perfectly with the rest of the theme of the movie and tone.
Thought she was great.
And I had no problem with them having their masks exposed throughout the movie when they're in the suits. That's fine. That didn't bother me.
That was too reminiscent to what they were trying to do to the '96 movie. I didn't notice it as much in this, and it kind of passed just due to the very nature of the suits themselves and how they operate. But I hate when they force that. I feel like it's so unnecessary for them to do it.
Movies being movies where they want the actors shown that they're paying all this money for.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose so.
That's what it's same with superhero movies. Like if you notice, they're always taking off their masks because they just, it's just that's how it works. Unfortunately, I get it. I accept it, but I get where you're coming from.
Well, if it's a business purpose, maybe we should figure that shit out because that's not what I'm here to see. I don't care why. Even if it makes sense, it sucks.
But I think that's the reason why they do it. And then they beat her back. Yeah, we said they slap her into space. Then they give up their powers. They put except they keep their power, but he puts the sword away, which I guess is supposed to be the coin, or I don't know what the hell he's doing.
It's sword on sword.
Oh, that's what it was?
That's all it was.
Oh, it made it seem like he was giving up their powers.
Nope.
Oh, okay. He said, we'll be back if it's needed or something like that. Or Rita makes a comment saying that other people will come.
Oh yeah, because of the Zero Crystal, there's going to be people that want it, and
there'll be other sequels.
Nah.
Supposedly.
Well,
that makes me so upset. But so you have that. What else? Then that just brings us to the ending. Then you have them in detention.
Yeah, that's a stinger, I believe.
That's a stinger. You're right.
The Marvel stinger.
The ending is just them. It just shows each of them talking with their family and essentially kind of reconnecting with their family. Trini is fixing the hole in her wall from when she was attacked, and I guess Kimberly is making peace with the friends that she, showing the new friends that she has, the Power Rangers.
Another little shout out to the Trini scene with her little brothers. They're like calling the Yellow Ranger a guy.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what makes you think it's a guy? Because in the Sentai it was a guy. America was not, so that was a little shout there. Okay,
and then you have Zach playing chess with his mother and connecting with her more instead of just running off and hanging out at a very dangerous place, at a mine, which is a teenager thing. I remember going to the creeks and stuff, and damn, I look back at what we used to do when I walked those creeks at night. Like I really should not have been on those train tracks.
No, actually no.
Or going into that one cemetery on Forest Hill in Milwaukee. I've never done that, but stuff like that. A lot of weird shit. You have Billy taking apart his whole whatever the hell he has on the wall, and it's just cool. Just everyone kind of reconnects with their family too, and it's a good. And then you see them in detention, and they're all friends. And then I think then the movie is it the Stinger?
Yep, it's a Stinger. After the first part of the opening credits roll, they reveal that they are missing one new student in detention who goes by Tommy Oliver.
Oh, and one last thing. Right before the movie ends, Kimberly throws a piece of paper that has the thunder, the lightning bolt with the different colors. Then it goes to, then your Stinger.
Yeah.
So how upset were you, Joe?
Extremely, because of two things. Because one, the other Easter egg that made me sad is that Amy Jo Johnson and Jason David Frank are in the crowd whenever they beat Goldar.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. And that made me sad because that was fucking hell. I would say it was 10 years ago, but it wasn't. But depending on when they made this, it might have been 10 years ago. So yeah, because I know this movie in production for a while.
I don't know.
I thought it was, but honestly, I don't know for sure.
I know Mike not know. Rich, did you know the also really badass part about this movie?
What's up?
So whenever they asked Jason David Frank if they could put Tommy in the next movie, and he said, yeah, that's fine. And they asked him for tips, and there was one thing they were kind of hesitant in, and he goes, well, if you're going to ask me, just ask me, what is it? He goes, and they asked him, would it be cool if we made the Green Ranger a girl for the next movie? And he's like, honestly, that's the most badass thing I've ever heard of.
And I would have been ready for it. I would have accepted it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know if I ever heard that, but yeah, I would have liked it.
And they could have made it work as yes, in the subtitles they say Tommy T-O-M-N-Y, but he could have just been wrong, and it could have been Tommy T-O-M-I.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We would have gotten a live action Lord Zed. That would have been fucking badass as hell.
Come on. Hopefully it didn't fuck up that aesthetic, but yes, I would have loved it.
Did you also see the the canceled Power Rangers multiplayer game?
No.
Yeah, I'll look up for that later. But watching this maybe remind me of that because I think the artist that did all the what is it called? Like whenever they draw stuff for
Concept
the movie.
art.
Yeah, the concept art. He also drew the concept art for the movie. And he drew the concept art for the movie, but he also drew the concept art for the game. And apparently we're going to get a multiplayer 5-person Power Rangers game. And it was supposed to have seasons. And they were going to do what they did with Spider-Man, where you were given the base costumes for the game, but the Easter, level up in Spider-Man, you get other suits from other comics.
Yep.
You would have gotten other suits from other shows.
Same with Arkham games, Batman, all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I would have. You know how long I've been waiting for something like that?
And there was a game that went along with this movie that came out at the same time called Legacy of Wars, which was a mobile game.
Well, I played that one. That I actually put some time.
It's still around, actually. It sounds like
it is. It is still around
with 143 characters.
And they kept bringing them out. Like they brought out. I know they brought out a Hyperforce one. So even from that, they brought out Rangers from everywhere.
So that kind of I did not know that exists.
Toxic because it's a fighting game, PvP only, but otherwise it's pretty good.
Oh, and since I was just looking this up after we got done talking, this director only did 3 movies, and this was his last movie.
Broken.
So he only directed 2 movies. He was an assistant in the movie Battle Los Angeles or Battle LA, which I saw in 2011, which I don't like.
Shit, I remember watching that.
I saw it in theaters. I'm like, this is stupid.
It's not a theater-worthy movie.
No, and then he did Project Almanac, which I never heard of. A 2015 found footage science fiction film. Then he did this, and then he never did anything else. So yeah. So apparently, yeah, I don't know whatever happened, but he doesn't do anything anymore. But they had. So when I was also Googling stuff, they had 6 movies planned for this.
Damn.
And it just I get it. Your movie didn't work out, but you could have done more. I don't know. Just makes me sick. So we should go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Rich, why don't you go first?
I guess. This is not the movie I wanted. It's again, I'll say it one last time. Aesthetically, it was not what I was looking for. But watching it again, even then I didn't hate it. But watching it again made me appreciate it even more, with just how good the characters were and all that dynamic, and something that we've never really gotten in any other Power Rangers. I mean, with that said, though, and I was ready for some sequels. With that said, I probably end up shelving it.
Okay.
Because this has to be, in my opinion, the best Power Rangers movie that has been released.
It's definitely the best of the 3 we covered so far. I only got 1 left. So that was not released in theaters, but still a movie.
More of a union special.
It's considered a movie to Netflix. So
Which one are you referring to?
Once and Always.
Oh, that. Oh, you know what? I even like this probably more than that, but we'll see.
Okay. I mean, Joe's right. It is essentially what they consider a movie in Netflix's world.
Yeah, for sure.
And I will consider it a movie for reasons of this podcast when we get there. So. And Joe, what about you?
Also Shelf. I think it's a perfect mix of I think I sent it to y'all, the bootleg Power Rangers. You know, that cranks up to 11. I think this keeps it at a perfect 5. Not too serious, but not too over the top. I liked a lot of the beginning soundtrack of the movie. I dig it. The worst part of also remember people hardcore complaining about this movie was that we did not get the full Power Rangers theme for the movie, which would have worked perfectly instead of whatever the hell the Kanye West song they used for the movie.
They did give us a rendition of it, a cover of it, when the Zords were in full swing.
Well, probably the guy who made it didn't want to license it out to himself. So.
I legit feel like that's also what it was too. Is if you want to use it, you have to relicense it. And he's like, nah, just use it 30 seconds.
He made it.
Riff. He's an asshole.
So I'm sure he could have used it, but I'm sure he wanted them to pay him. You're making the movie, you asshole. You own it.
How much? Well, how much? You're talking about Saban, right?
Ham Saban made this. He made that music.
Well, Ron Wasserman is the original creator and composer of that, and he has albums.
Okay, then on to do
streaming services. Maybe that is more of what.
Because I know Saban was known for making music.
Yeah, he didn't make it himself. It was Ron Wasserman.
He worked for someone else, didn't he?
Yeah,
and then take the credit for it.
I mean, everybody in the Ranger world, most people know who Wasserman is because of that. He made not only the main theme, but he made the Go Green Ranger song. He made most of the standout tracks in those first few seasons, and even I think a couple beyond that. He made the Zeo opening theme, stuff like that.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong completely, but sure, he's a cheap bastard. I'm sure that played a part.
Hey, I wouldn't put it past him.
Sorry, Joe. Did you finish? think I cut you off there.
No, you're fine. I asked, so it's cool. I also just wish too, like, well, I really wish, even though I didn't know we were gonna get 6, or is it this movie and 6 more movies, or 6 movies in general?
6 movies altogether. They had 2. They wanted to make 6. I mean, I wish you would just got a trilogy, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I could have totally seen like them making this one, and then the second one being like the one with the Green Ranger, and then maybe Rita gets her Green Ranger powers back into the Lord Zed for the last movie, and that's how they introduced the White Ranger that way, which probably would have been cool. But yeah, it sucks, but I do like this movie a lot too. I like it more than the other 2, and I don't count the other one as a movie. So I hope we get more, or another one, because I did hear we're getting another Power Rangers reboot coming soon.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Whatever. What am I saying? I don't care. They can do whatever they want. Make more product. Whatever. Who knows? I might watch it and enjoy it. So I'm gonna put this on the shelf too. I'm surprisingly how much I actually enjoyed this film. I could have done with watching it on YouTube for free instead of paying my $13 for it. But you know what? I did enjoy it, so I can't complain too much. Yeah, it's a good movie. Put it on the shelf, and it I enjoyed it a lot more than I did the first time I watched it back in like 2018. So because I'm much more of a Power Rangers fan for some weird reason. So it was much more fun for me.
Funny how that works out. It's crazy.
Yeah. I feel like you're somehow to blame, huh?
I don't know.
All right. I actually don't know what the next thing will be. So I'm not going to say for our next Ranger team. I don't know what's coming next for Rangers. I have an idea, but we'll see.
My bad.
I'm also really ahead on the schedule because this actually won't be released till May at the rate I'm going. So because I have to do other stuff. But Patreon and other things. So it'll be a little bit for you. We're recording this at the end of February. So for those that'd like to know the way things work in the world of podcasting behind Inside Podcast. I guess I should do the outro, huh? Okay.
Maybe.
If you enjoyed this episode, over 600 episodes on the podcast, you can find everything we do on Podbean. Just go on our Podbean. You can search, type in Star Wars, type in TMNT, type in Mega Man, type in whatever the hell. All the Power Ranger stuff we did will be in the show notes. So if you want to find it that way, you can just go in the show notes of this episode, scroll down. You will see everything Power Rangers links to everything we've done. So definitely go check that out. If you want to support the show, we do a Patreon. For a little dollar, you can vote in our Patreon poll. You will see a link in the show notes. Please, you get to affect the show. I usually do at least one poll. I do one poll a month for sure, sometimes 2. So definitely go check that out. We do have a Discord. Please join our Discord. You'll see a link in the show notes to that too. So I'm always happy to have more people with us. And want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Has For You. You can follow her on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram. You see a link to her link tree in the show notes. And give a shout out to A Gamer Looks at 40 with Bill Tucker. He started his own podcast 8 years ago. Definitely go check him out. It's on the show often. Check out No Man's Fantasy and Nintendo Main Podcast. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Review us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get us. And Blue Sky, YouTube audio only, but you can find us in all those different places. And I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See ya.